Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the JY podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Halloween Kills. Um, so we had mixed opinions about this movie. Uh, there were some things that it did really well, and that actually built upon other stuff in the franchise. But a lot of it we felt was the exact same as like the 30 Halloween movies they've already made. It felt really generic, and so we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I felt like this is a major step down from the 2018 movie. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty generic. Like, I feel like there was a lot of unnecessary scenes in this movie. One that was like pretty stand out to me was like when he killed those old people. I just felt like it really didn't serve the plot at all, and there was no need for it. Another thing was like just all the characters were so insanely stupid in this movie that it was kind of frustrating. Like, yeah, I get it. There's a whole nother movie coming out, but you don't have to make them so stupid for Michael Myers to be able to kill them all. I mean, we get he's immortal, so you can still have some of these characters be somewhat smart. And yeah, I just feel like the whole plot buildup for this movie kind of felt useless in the end because he just survived. Like, you get this whole group together, they're all like, "Oh, we're gonna kill Michael Myers," and then don't achieve anything. So I feel like this whole movie was just kind of useless.
Exactly. That was my main problem with it, is that the tagline of this movie was "Evil dies tonight." They won't stop shouting "Evil dies tonight." Like they're screaming it the whole movie. It gets burned into your brain, and at the end of the movie, spoilers, he's not dead. He never dies. And so you're kind of wondering like why. There is no like development made between uh like maybe the middle of 2018, because at the end he's on fire, so that's kind of a development because he's no longer on fire. And then like this one, there's nothing happens. He's still Michael Myers. He's still a guy with a knife running around stabbing people. That's it. And that's what it felt like the whole movie, is a guy running around stabbing people with a knife. Like we don't learn much about Michael's backstory. We learn a little bit about like what happened to this cop who got shot by another cop, but like who cares? And yeah, I feel like there was nothing of value added to the franchise here.
Yeah, and another thing I kind of want to mention was the fact that Laurie kind of just really didn't have a role in this movie, which I felt like was kind of disappointing. I mean, I get that her character's been done so many times, but I thought she was great in the last movie, and I kind of wish she had something to do in this movie. I'm assuming they're kind of saving her for the next one. Um, and yeah, like kind of I said, like pretty much they've tried every method at killing Michael Myers, and none of it's worked. So it's kind of confusing how they're gonna really like eliminate him in this next movie because I don't really know what's something new they can do. Maybe like he's connected to the mask, like without it, he kind of loses his powers. But we saw him like in the first movie when he was getting his mask, he killed those two people, and he still had like the same strength. Like that one guy hit him in the head with a crowbar, and he wasn't phased. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I would say actually that's the one thing they have going for them, is that they can't like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Except there's a few obvious answers, like you could just blow his head off with a shotgun or something. That would easily do it. But like, we don't know what's gonna happen in the movie, because I really doubt they would end it in such a stupid way like that. I already like touched on this, but it's the same as every other movie. Like in the other movies, he kind of just walks around like stabbing people, and is always the same goal of getting to the Myers house. And at the end of this movie, spoilers again, he's in the Myers house. He like somehow sneaks past an entire police brigade. He's into the Myers house, and at this point, you're just kind of wondering like, what now? What does Michael want? Like he, and normally I'd be like, oh, this is kind of a good thing, but it's been like 30 years, and I feel like we should have some like semblance of an idea. But with him ending the movie, the like, I guess it's a four-parter because you got the first one, then these two, then another one. We should know something, but we have absolutely zero clue what he wants. There's no tension. We're like, oh, is he gonna do it? Because we don't know what he's gonna do. He's just gonna kill more people until he dies. So why should we care? Like I can, when the next movie comes out, I can just look up Michael Myers death scene, and I will like, everything will be finished for me. I will be none the wiser to any of the filler like garbage that they put into it. So I feel like this movie, was their chance to like explain some stuff in the franchise to make us interested in another movie, but they didn't. It was all the same.
That's actually a pretty good point. Like, I really don't know where this next movie is gonna go because he's at the house. I mean, they're gonna probably another mob is gonna form. He's gonna kill them all. So what's next? I mean, possibly like Lori and her granddaughter, like they kind of figure out what his weakness is. They try to explore that, but there's really nothing to go off. It's probably gonna be like this movie. He's gonna probably go around doing some kills. Then probably towards the end, there's gonna be some fight scene with Lori and him, and I'm assuming Lori's gonna kill him, and or maybe they kill each other. But yeah, really the only significant thing I can see happening in this next movie is just a death scene. Other than that, it's probably gonna be all filler, which is what this movie did. And it really, yeah, it didn't offer anything new to the franchise. It feels like I'm just watching the same type of movie over and over again.
Right, and I want to give it a little bit of credit because, like, some of you are probably thinking, like, I don't really care about any of this. I just want to see a big guy kill people, and I'll give it credit there. He kills people pretty good. There's a lot of unique kills. Like he kills one guy with like a stairway banister, and another guy by just like getting this circular saw from the fire like fire truck and sawing a guy in half. Like there's some good stuff in there if you just want to turn your brain off and like watch him slaughter a few people. But so much of it is them saying cheesy lines like, "Oh, he's gonna haunt this town forever. He's there even when you close your eyes." They're like, if you want to go for the plot, it's not worth it. If you want to go to see him kill stuff, you're still gonna be pretty bored for a good chunk of the movie. So I don't know why we're supposed to watch this. Like, what do we get from watching this movie?
Yeah, and that's just another problem I kind of have with like these movies is like really the only character you care for is Michael Myers and possibly Laurie. Like they don't really do a good job of expanding upon any of the other characters, which I don't know if they really care to, but I feel like it would kind of help the movie because like half this movie is like with these other characters. So you gotta have to make them kind of likable for you to be interested and invested.
Yeah, they had this one scene in the bar that was so drawn out and crazy, where like they're having this fun time at a bar, and this dude makes some creepy, really annoying like speech about Michael, and so they introduce all these characters, make you somewhat like them, and then they all die. Like literally, all of them die except for one guy who dies later in the movie. So like, I think they want us to care about their characters before they die, but they're really, really bad at it.
Yeah, when you have like barely any survivors, it's kind of hard to care for these characters when you can kind of predict they're gonna die. So I feel like in this next movie also just at least have a few more survivors. I mean, I get that Michael Myers like kills and finishes them off, but it's really kind of pointless to just care for all these characters when we can just predict their fate.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned Fate because I did notice there's a little bit of plot armor too. Like Michael Myers is supposed to be a killer. He never leaves behind a loose end, except for this one part where I don't really know their names because they don't matter. But the daughter, like the granddaughter of Lori, she had her leg broken sitting there on the floor without a weapon. But just because the mom took Michael's mask, he just left her there. He could have easily stomped her like into the dirt, killed her, and then go get his mask. But because she's a main character, he just leaves her there. And so I feel like every character has like no value to their life unless they're a main character in which they just live. Like you're not even worried for them. In fact, at the end of the movie, spoilers, he's right behind the mom, like, and she turns around and screams, horror movie fashion. I'm willing to bet that she lives. Michael is right there ready to kill her, and she's probably gonna live. That's how much these movies, that's how predictable these movies are.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was like kind of thinking there's like a 50-50 chance she survives. He stabbed her a lot though, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just gave her plot armor and sent her to the hospital because yeah, I feel like everyone that's not a main character is screwed. But if you have these three main characters, then they're pretty much safe. it would have more stakes if they actually killed her off, which I hope they do. And I hope in this next movie, like the characters are a lot smarter because I still couldn't get over the fact that guy decided to go all alone in Michael Myers' house. Like, what was he thinking, bro? You saw what this guy's capable of. He's pretty much immortal. He took out all these firefighters, and this guy thought he could take them on alone. Like, I get horror movie characters are pretty stupid, but like in this movie in particular, like they just felt insanely stupid to the point you could just tell it was garbage writing.
Yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say. In summary, I feel like if you've seen any of the other Halloween movies, you've seen this one.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you think that this movie was a good step up from the last one, or if you think like us that it's just like all the others generic.